was a kind of real visionary in setting out, we're going to aspire higher and better, and students loved him.
When John Elmendorf became the second president of New College in 1965, it was the beginning of a new and thriving phase for the newly opened college. Elmendorf helped to develop its characteristic learning philosophy and kept the school alive despite immense obstacles. Nearly 50 years later, Elmendorf's legacy lives on in New College, a nationally recognized institution that has affected not only the Sarasota community, but also students from all around the world. Born in 1916, Elmendorf aspired to follow in his mother's footsteps.
And I think she influenced John a lot. She was a wonderful teacher and had no idea how many people she had influenced just by teaching. And I think that's why John became a teacher.
He pursued a career as an educator, serving in a variety of different positions, including Vice President of Brown University from 1961 to 1965. When Elmendorf was asked to become president of New College, his new path was clear.
He said, New College can't wait. If I don't go now, there won't be a new college, but this is a perfect opportunity.
When John Elmendorf came onto the New College campus in 1965, he had a huge task on his hands. Elmendorf's job consisted of not only unifying the student body and bringing a more college-like atmosphere to the campus, but also digging the college out of its financial grave. New College was founded on October 11, 1960 by a group of forward-thinking individuals in the Sarasota community. Unfortunately, from its start, New College experienced many financial problems due to its experimental nature.
He had, well, every president has had their own version of that tension, that issue of how free and open are we versus how much structure do we have. And he inherited a pretty difficult debate over that issue.
People hoped that Elmendorf's integrity and originality would bring a new age to New College, a goal he most definitely fulfilled. Elmendorf was dedicated to his job from the beginning. Already starting to work before the formal starting date, Elmendorf was determined to devote himself completely to New College. However, the obstacles to success were aplenty. There was an untested second curriculum, numerous new faculty members, and only 80 returning students compared to 93 new ones. These weights hung heavily on Elmendorf's shoulders when he officially started on September 1, 1965. Elmendorf had already begun to address the huge financial issue by acquiring a $431,000 loan from the bank. However, there is still much to be done. Despite these worries, Elmendorf had an overall positive attitude and was motivated to do as best he could for his students. From the beginning, Elmendorf and the student body had a mutual love for one another. Elmendorf found New College's students to be incredibly intellectual and fascinating. In turn, students easily befriended their new president. A colleague of Elmendorf said that Elmendorf had an unaffected style that won him the instant friendship of almost everyone he met. Elmendorf said to his first class, "Few students have the same opportunities that you have. If you reject them, you will have diminished yourself. If you accept them, you will have achieved your expectations and lost your fears. It is now your move." Elmendorf was a staunch advocate of making sure these opportunities would be present for the students. In the first 6 months of this 1965 to 1966 school year, New College became an even more mature college. Teachers and students were looking to the future, planning second and third year curriculum, looking into academic freedoms, and so on and so forth. These students greeted this increased maturity with mixed feelings. For young people, the 60s was a sort of revolution. Students rebelled against parents' control and regular social norms. The growing structure at the college was something that these students were reluctant to accept. It was not just the school thought that these students were wary of. Any sort of structure was anathema, while independence was the ideal. Students would wear unusual clothing or a lack of clothing. Sometimes they behaved in a more rash, inappropriate manner for that time. New College, which was already under severe scrutiny by the community, lost even more credibility. The people of Sarasota, Professor George Mayer said, believed that New College was a sanctuary for teenagers who suffered from some grave social affliction. As a result of this, fundraising from the Sarasota community was most definitely an even more arduous task. However, interestingly enough, Elmendorf saw his students' behavior as a display of intellect and variety. This attitude gave Elmendorf many friends. According to several staff members, students could often be seen in his office. Elmendorf also expressed a wish to just speak with the students to learn even more about them. For Elmendorf, as long as his students excelled academically, their personal lives were up to them for the most part, and excel they did. The college examiners showed through a standardized test that new college students got more knowledge in 1 year in all 3 curriculum areas than an average student in America. Second-year math students in a nationally administered test got a higher average than 99% of college students in their second year. Also, second-year students in philosophy scored among the 3% of senior philosophy students. As time went by, the new college campus further evolved. Students began forming special interest groups such as newspaper and yearbook. The antagonized relationship between the community and New College also began to heal, as students planned discussion groups for the public to talk about subjects like philosophy and literature. One of the most momentous changes under Elmendorf's presidency was in relation to the New College academic curriculum. According to Professor Mayer, Elmendorf's ideal college was a community of bright students learning by interacting rather than attending classes. With that in mind, Elmendorf and the faculty revolutionized the academic system, bringing it closer to the independent curriculum New College enjoys today. In the second year, Elmendorf brought the school together for an all-campus review. As a result of this, huge changes were made to the academic system. The required mastery of foreign language was dropped. The academic year was lowered from 11 months to 9 months to allow time for independent study. One of the biggest additions, and one that still exists today, was the contract system started in 1969. Students could sign an academic contract with someone from the faculty, and the contract would include some long and short-term goals of the student and steps that must be taken to achieve them. Elmendorf said the system provided a means to satisfy the wishes of the students to do their own thing, and at the same time satisfy the same attitudes on the part of the faculty. Flash forward 50 years from when Elmendorf first started New College, and one can easily see how his legacy lives on in the school. Elmendorf's original message and principle of what the school should be founded upon, the individualization of academics in order to inspire greater personal success, is still evident in New College's unique academic program. Today, New College professors provide narrative evaluations instead of letter grades for any assignment or course completed. By doing so, the school hopes to give detailed feedback on a student's individual strengths and weaknesses in order to allow the student to prosper and receive a more valuable feedback. Furthermore, these narrative evaluations reduce the competition learning environment and promotes one that encourages self-improvement.
So they're not focused really on getting grades, they're competing with themselves. And so there's kind of a real camaraderie between the students, because they're not competing with each other in a way, they're really supporting each other. So I'd say it's a really supportive culture. It is really supportive of difference in a way.
Because of Dr. Elmendorf's effective leadership and guidance of New College, the once overlooked school has transformed into a nationally renowned college. New College is currently ranked as the number 5 top public school in the United States. Comprised of just 800 students, New College has a 10-to-1 student-faculty ratio, which brings to fruition Elmendorf's vision of an individualized and personal academic relationship with the professors. In addition, about 77% of the classes contain less than 20 students, again stressing the push for academic success. This college is a more selective school, accepting less than 70% of the applicants with a diverse pool of students from a wide variety of states. Because of Elmendorf's effective leadership and determination to bring New College out of its initial financial distress, New College prospers to this day, inspiring young people to pursue an individualized path to success.